live. Well, hello. It is always good to be with everybody for Hayes Hills Family Ministry Live. I am Ethan. I'm half of Hayes Hills Family Ministry. Greg is actually just fixing one of the settings to make sure that this recording is amazing. So, we will hang out, we will chat, we will talk, and whatnot until he is ready to go. Got to get those settings fixed. It is important. Hopefully everybody's doing well. The sunshine is certainly a nice thing for my psyche. I'm really appreciating some sunshine. We all need a little bit of brightness right now, don't we? Fro show. We absolutely need some. Trying to get myself all in the camera frame there. Well, hopefully everybody is doing well. Today, we are going to think through events. So we've talked so far here on Family Ministry Live about, kind of the philosophy of family ministry. Why is it that we do what we do here at Hayes Hills? Why do we have children's and students and family ministry set up the way we do? And we've talked about the programs that we do, why they're important, why they're kind of not. We've talked about specifically our response to the coronavirus. And today we're going to keep talking, keep learning, and focus on the events that we do. Now, because we have a philosophy of family ministry where we're working together, we're working to be sustainable as ministries, we're working to be simple, not that we lack complexity, but that we don't overwhelm, that we just focus well on equipping our volunteers to do really great ministry really well and connect with people. A lot of the philosophy and a lot of why we do what we do in events is the same as what we do with programs. So we're not going to rehash the program episode. You can go back and watch that again. But we are going to just take a little bit of a different angle and talk about some of the aspects of events. Look forward to some events that we have coming up and talk specifically about equipping people. There's Greg.
Hi.
Hello, man. Here we go. Oh, no, I didn't know if you were going to.
You're good.
Say more.
So the live stream was not allowing the chat function to work, and so I was trying to get that working, and I believe we've got that working. Figuring stuff out as we go here. All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure my voice is actually coming through.
Is good. We are functionally chatting. We're functional chatters.
We are dysfunctional at best, sir. But that is just part of giving you a true look into the life of Greg and Ethan in family ministry world. We thrive on dysfunction.
Something like that.
Anyways, you were just saying we were going to talk about events and just how that pertains to family ministry. Did you want to start us off on kind of the first topic you wanted to?
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy to dive in. So, as we're still kind of dealing with the coronavirus and what it looks like to be socially distanced and safe, we're going to kind of skip over some of the summer stuff just because we're still not sure what will unfold, and we don't want to talk about summer events and then have signed a check that we can't cash. So we'll just know that we want awesome things to happen in the summer, but we are going to look forward to the fall, to the new school year, and really talk more about events that we have much more confidence are going to happen and happen the way that we think they will.
Yeah, definitely. And so just a quick update on that. If you missed it, we have decided not to do Heroes Camp this year. Just that comes up in June. The community involvement, just all the pieces that have to be put together, and pieces that have to be committed to so early on. Yeah. It just seemed unwise to move forward as that were happening. Yeah. Just given the way we feel how things are going. Yeah. Also in June is our high school camp Battle Cry, and we're hopeful. We have a realistic approach to that, understanding that the likelihood is that it is at risk of not happening, and we understand that reality is there. But we're hopeful, and because that doesn't take nearly as many pieces as Heroes Camp to put together, or at least not as many things we have to commit ourselves to. We have some more flexibility to just wait things out and see how the next few weeks go. Have some backup plans for high school camp if Battle Cry can't happen there in the middle of June. gonna work with Zach at Bethel Baptist in Illinois to try and think of if there's a way we can make it happen at a different point in the summer if possible. That has a lot of things to it as well. So we may just have to do something closer to home. Praying that all of this ends by early summer and that we can still make something happen in the summer. So we'll keep you updated on all of that. So getting to the fall, I'm so excited when I think about the fall, which is different because you know me, summer. I love summer. I love hot. I hate even today when it's 60 degrees outside. I'm just like, oh, why is it only 60 degrees outside? It's April. It should be warm. And so I rarely say I want summer to go quickly, but in the way things are shaping up this year, the next few months are so uncertain that it's hard to be excited about them. So we're trying to add as many fun elements and excitement into that as we can, and I think we're doing okay. My kids love Ethan's videos.
Good.
My wife did threaten him about the magnet thing, which was odd.
I'm not
yesterday.
sure of all of the different craft videos and stuff that I've done. I have parents sometimes say things like, "You gave me glitter, and that's all over my house." But Mallory is frustrated, the correct word, about the fact that the Easter craft had magnets.
Right.
So that was interesting.
So
to me.
Here's the thing:
new complaint.
when you make a craft that's a magnet as a kid, you expect it to go one place.
Yeah, your fridge.
On the fridge, and we got
where I expected them.
We got a new fridge last year. And it's like a French door fridge like Mallory's always wanted. And so she committed that she was going to keep it clean of clutter because she hates clutter. Very clean and organized person. I couldn't be more grateful for that, considering the fact that my house is always clean and that if it were up to me, it just wouldn't be as clean. And so I'm so thankful that she cares and takes care of that. That was why she didn't like the craft, man. She liked the craft. That's not fair. She just disliked the magnet part. She was only kind of kidding, though. She's probably not going to kill you.
I mean, I do hope that it would take more than a magnet for my life to be over, all things considered. There's that.
But your videos have been great. My kids have an idea of a craft they want to send you so that they can release you from one video you have to make. They want to make one for you to send out. So they're excited about that. They always like making YouTube videos. They watch these YouTube stars and think they're going to be rich. They started making YouTube videos back around Christmas time. We got them like little knockoff GoPros off of Amazon and for Christmas. Yeah. And they created a YouTube channel called World of Crazy. And I helped them make and edit some videos, and they immediately assumed that they should start making merch to sell.
T-shirts, hats, and stuff.
Because they assume as soon as you're on YouTube, you are wildly famous and that people want to buy your stuff. And so that's been hard to kind of navigate with them. Like, hey, I don't think you need to make merch quite yet.
Not just yet. It could happen. But...
Also, if you have little kids at home, our 1-year-old loves Blippi. And Blippi basically is a guy who just goes around to like different kids museums and stuff and does a tour of them in a fun way for little kids to watch. And he is absolutely Ethan Graves' twin in every way. He's definitely a little cornier than you are, but I mean, he wears a bow tie in every video. He sounds kind of like you. He has glasses that are the same shape as yours. It's uncanny how much Blippi. And so, Ethan, I did want to let you know, Blippi, we looked it up yesterday, is worth $20 million.
Wow.
So
I can assure you that I'm not worth a fraction of that.
If you are secretly Blippi and you haven't told us,
I would love to be worth $20 million, but I promise you I'm not.
I'm just saying, when all this is over and we get back to thinking about a new sanctuary and stuff, if you're raking in millions on YouTube, might be helpful. I'm just saying.
Maybe I can start a channel. Although, I gotta say, after putting out all these videos we've put out just as a church, there is a lot more work that goes into the whole YouTube star thing.
I get that, but I mean, I think we work hard every week.
We do. Oh yeah, we do.
And I'm not worth $20 million.
No.
So
No.
nor will I ever be, I'm assuming.
I mean, you're gonna have to invest really well in the stock market for that to happen.
Or just trip over a winning lottery ticket since I don't buy them.
Something.
So that would be about the only way that is happening. We got sidetracked really badly there.
We did.
We're very much.
We did. But thank you for the 7 people who have not stopped
yes,
watching.
Yes, we appreciate it. Maybe this is better than our normal content. Just us critiquing other people's YouTube videos.
Here you go. Instead of talking about our events.
If you don't have little kids at home, you owe it to yourself to watch 5 minutes of a Blippi video. You'll hate it, but just watch it and then watch Ethan's videos and you'll enjoy.
Compare.
You'll enjoy that.
Compare.
But yes, we looking at the summer. Not sure how to focus on that. So coming into the fall, from everything that I've seen and the expectations of everything, it looks like the fall will be a full go, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of hope in that direction. At least at minimum, we can say there's hope in that direction.
I'm full of hope for that. I can't imagine a world where that's not the case. So that's the lane I'm living in. And so looking at the fall, I'm looking at this season of just not being able to meet and going, I think there's so much we can do and plan for and prep for in the fall just to make sure we hit the ground in the fall running really well and really strong. And so obviously that means launching up our Wednesday night program at the beginning of the school year as we do. Hopefully we'll be meeting on Wednesdays well before then, but we always tone it back a little bit in the summer and then kind of launch for school year.
Definitely a different situation in the summer.
And just looking at that and just going, okay, we have an opportunity to just really, a lot of times in our ministry work, every week there's so many good ideas and good things that we really want to do, but there's just no time. And so one of the trying to think of the positives of this, one of the things we've been granted in this season is more time for some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a little extra detail love.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I know one of the things you're already thinking about for next year event-wise is just a quarterly children's ministry event.
Yep.
Talk about what that looks like a little bit.
Well, so, if you have a student in student ministry or if you're even just paying attention to the different publications that we send out as a church, you Greg, are doing, an event a month probably about that for
sometimes 2 now with middle school and high school.
For middle school and high school.
Separate,
it's like a fun thing. And the Bible, teaching kids about it, helping them memorize it, all of those things is always going to be the center of what we do in kids ministry.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we also want to have fun together. I don't think that we have to say a focus on the Bible comes at the cost of never having fun. I think we can, you can be on a spectrum. You can be so focused on the Bible that you never have fun.
Yeah.
Legalistic might be the right word for that. You could also be so focused on fun that you begin to walk away from faithfulness.
Yeah.
Either end of the spectrum is a bad place to be. The middle ground, which is pretty much true of every spectrum, is where you want to be. And so for kids ministry, one thing I'm thinking through now that we have some really good programs and stuff laid down is fun. Now we build fun into the weekly stuff. Game time in Awana being a great example of fun every week. Crafts and that kind of thing.
Really, because you come across as more of the drill sergeant type, so that surprises me.
Well, Brian Cummings helps Game Time and Awana be amazing. So,
is Brian Cummings a drill sergeant? Is that what you're saying there?
No, I'm saying he makes it fun.
Oh,
if I'm a drill sergeant,
I got you.
Yeah, he's in charge of Game Time.
I thought you were putting him on Front Street there for a second.
No, that was a shout out to him. But yeah, so one thing I hope to do in the fall, really plan on is having a once a quarter event. So probably looking at something like maybe September, January, April, and I don't know, maybe July. Those aren't necessarily locked in months, but just kind of hitting a once a quarter-ish time frame where we have a fun event. For instance, Easter just happened, and next Easter we could do something like a fun Easter egg photo scavenger hunt sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the goal being that families get to just come, and we'll do it on a Saturday. I know Saturdays are busy, so come if you can, kind of thing.
I think we need to start praying God brings someone to the church with a helicopter so we can do one of those egg drop things that some churches do.
That'd be incredible. I would love that. I would go bonkers over that. I'm gonna have to start smaller, but I love the heart. But yeah, something like that though, right where it's fun and where it draws people in, I want families who are already members or regular attenders to be able to just come and have fun with their kids.
Yeah.
Life is so busy with the routine, which isn't bad, but
Yeah.
I want us to be able to have fun with our kids. I also want families who are maybe like, hey, my kid is in the nursery. So I know some of the nursery families, but maybe I don't know some of the families who have kids who are, say in fourth grade. And so I want families in kids ministry to be able to connect with one another, build relationships with one another. Their kids are already friends because of being at church, but I want the parents to be able to know each other, to be able to just develop more community as a church, more love in that way. And I want to have things that are like fun for if you want to invite your neighbor to come.
Yeah.
You're always welcome. We want neighbors and friends to come to Sunday and Wednesday night. But a fun scavenger hunt type thing might be a great door that says, hey, come to this. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Hang out, meet some of the adults at church, and then we'll
really
go
what
from
I
there.
what I think you're kind of like comparing and contrasting, and we talked about it. I'm pretty sure on this a week or two ago is this idea that we want our ministry to be focused on the right things because, as Pastor Aaron has said and taught us many times, what you win people with is what you win them to, which is why flashiness and that type of thing aren't our top priority.
Yeah.
First and foremost, God's word, prayer, worship, teaching, small groups, that type of thing is our primary focus because those are the things that lead to ultimate discipleship and faith in Jesus. And so we want to keep those things up front. Kind of the one counter thought to what you win them with is what you win them to is that sometimes, like you said, sometimes you get sucked a little to the legalistic side of that. And we also don't want to do that. Well, we also understand that fun is an important element. And even in our Bible study times, fun should be a regular part of it. Even in our small groups, even in our worship, fun is good and okay. But even beyond that to create community, to pull people in who because not everyone is going to just go, oh, they're teaching the Bible well, I'm going to go there, right? Like sometimes you have to get people's attention in another way and pull them in. And so I'm thankful for Aaron and the leadership he provides, that we have a pretty clear direction as a church, that he's really made it easy for us to kind of focus on as a church two things, 20% to neighbors and nations with missions, and tell it to two, that we want to be people who love Jesus and are sharing our faith with others. And then just kind of taking that mindset and then simplifying our ministries, going, okay, our foundations are very clear what we want to do. We want to disciple kids from diapers to diplomas. We want them to understand God's word and to fall in love with Jesus and have a personal relationship with him that will save them for eternity. And so we are always checking and balancing based on that. If it's totally okay to have events that are purely for fun, and we do that as a student ministry. We just missed, unfortunately, being able to do bigger or better this year, which is a fun event where small groups go out and compete. We're not sitting down and having Bible study time during that event, but it's designed specifically also where they're going out with their small group leaders and spending time with their small group leaders and their small group, and that together time to get memories that will draw them in, so that those students will go, man, my small group leader is really fun. I can't wait to hang out with them on Wednesday night when we will maybe have a deeper conversation. Or maybe when things are tough, I know who I can turn to because my small group leader cares about me and they hang out with me. And so we see how those elements tie to our greater purpose. Whereas sometimes you can think of an event that sounds really fun, but it doesn't tie to a greater purpose. And you kind of have to say, okay, this would be awesome and it'd be so much fun, but it doesn't really tie us into what we're doing. And so we have to be careful about that. So I think that's kind of where you're going with that.
You bring up the point which draws us to the fact that fun is a doorway. Fun is the means to the end. If it's the end, we've got a problem. Now, God created the platypus, which means he has a sense of humor and is a fun guy.
Funny story, Mallory and I's youth group when we were in high school was named Platypus Youth Ministries.
That is definitely the most unique name I've ever heard for student ministry. Hey, come with me on Wednesday night to Platypus.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
I mean, I would go at least once just to see, out of curiosity.
I will.
But
I'm pretty sure there was a logo. I'll see if I can dig it up and
should.
throw it on social.
But that name, right, and like all of it kind of just, I mean, even the fact that name piques my curiosity proves our point that what we want is the fun things to be this door that says, hey, because this place has a fun event, my small group leaders are doing it with me, families at church and children's ministry are doing it together, This place cares.
Yeah.
And when something like coronavirus happens,
Mm-hmm.
who's the first person you turn to? Well, man, those Christians and that Jesus guy, when times were good, were all super focused and connected. And how much greater now that things are difficult,
Yeah.
whether it's coronavirus or personal loss like death or something like that, that we can say, hey,
Yeah.
and that fund serves a greater purpose of discipleship
Yeah.
in the life of the local church, which is really,
Yeah.
like you said, our goal, which,
Fun is just one of the vehicles taking us where
Yep.
we're trying to go.
and
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that brings up a good point of how we each have events that are solely for the purpose of just having fun. And even when we come back from coronavirus, whenever it's safe
I cannot
together,
wait to have fun with
I
everybody.
know that we're going to just like probably have many events that focus on fun
Yeah.
together. But there's also this element where some of our events are designed to do both. Some of
Yeah.
our events are fun, but they also have elements of discipleship. I think one of the things that stands out the most is something we're going to do new this fall as family camp. I'll intro it a little bit and then let you talk about some of the heart.
Yeah.
But in the past, children's ministry has done missions camp every year.
Mhm.
And obviously missions through 20% to our neighbors in the nations is a huge part of what we do here at Hayes Hills, and that's never going to stop being a huge part of what we do for the kids. We're always going to have missions focus, which we have regularly every week as well. This year we're going to do something a little bit different, and during the time frame where we would normally do missions camp, we're going to have family camp. And the idea is going to be to have some times of fun, some times of discipleship, and for the kids' part, the discipleship times will be focused on missions, so that we honor the fact that kids need to have a time of dedicated missions learning. But that event we're looking forward to as a nice hybrid of fun and discipleship and springboarding into growth. Why don't you just talk about why we're doing that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it kind of started as you were getting towards missions camp last year. I think you just felt a little tug on your heart about how it was set up and feeling like it might be time to rethink and just kind of ask those questions of, is this hitting the lane we want it to hit? And so we started having those conversations, just as we often do. I mean, I think one of the points of doing what we're doing right now is to show everyone rarely is a large decision made for either group without us praying through it and thinking through it together.
Yeah.
And
We're always responsible. I'm responsible for kids. You're responsible for students, but we are sounding boards for one another to make
Right.
sure that choices we make that are small and definitely the big ones, we don't want to be dumb.
yeah,
So we talk to each other
Yes.
as sounding boards
yeah.
to make sure that we're not dumb.
And what that conversation led to was a realization, even with the other ministerial staff, with Pastor David and Pastor Aaron, that all of us at one point or another in the last year or so kind of felt this idea in our hearts of having a family-based camp experience to get families together. And we jived with that because we've been focused on how to create more of a family atmosphere than ever before already, and I think we've seen so many good things come out of that. That it started as a question of, when is this a dream for someday? Is this a sooner thing? And so then when we started talking about if missions camp was going to continue and what it was going to look like, we just kind of started going, what if we kind of morphed the missions camp for kids into family camp for anyone who's a part of family ministry, to be a part of. And so the thought process, just in its simplest form, was to bring families and their kids together in a camp setting, to have a ton of fun, to worship together, to do Bible study time together, and that, we don't even know exactly what all of those individual pieces look like yet, but I'm just really excited to know that we're going to be offering families this chance, because really at the end of the day, if we can offer families this opportunity and encourage them and get the whole family, I mean, those camp experiences leave you so excited about your faith and kind of like, accelerate things, for a bit, and you can grow so much in a short amount of time when you're kind of isolated in a camp experience. And what we see is kids go to camp and come back, and then they're kind of at home going, well, I'm the only one who experienced this week. And so if we could create a weekend where the whole family is kind of getting revved up together, maybe they could feed off of each other when they get home and continue spurring that growth and that discipleship from home.
And even in addition to that, just like continuing to spur one another on, So often you come home as a kid from missions camp, a student from student camp. I know just from my own experiences as a camper, in addition to planning these things as the leader, you see your friends at youth group like once a week or whatever, and that's awesome. And you can, for multiple weeks, ride on the relationship building that you had at camp, maybe even a whole school year, if you had a lot of deep moments as a group. But you see your friends like once. And so some of the things maybe you would commit to at camp, like regular Bible reading or sharing your faith with a specific friend at school, is something that it's like it has steam for a while, but because you're kind of alone or you're only checking in maybe once a week, it kind of wears down. And the cool thing is that not only can families have that experience continue together as like the family unit, but we're also hoping and praying that what this does is families are building relationships with each other and hanging out with one another outside of the church walls, outside of Sunday and Wednesday. And so on Tuesday night, when the Bernies and the Graves are together hanging out after family camp, what will hopefully happen and what we're praying will happen and what we're thinking in terms of how we structure the schedule to guide that happening is, hey, the Graves and the Bernies had this experience. Individually, God's doing X, Y, and Z in their families. And then together, as they're just living life together, doing things together, they are talking to each other. And where one family might lose steam on their own, we can iron sharpens iron one another. And how cool would it be to have that happen across the life of our church and families across our church? And we're really excited. We're going to be spending some of our Corona detail time ironing out some of the things and getting it really squared away, but we're looking forward to it.
So that's coming in November. November is our
coming in November, and we'll have more details as we need them. Right now, we're all kind of flooded with news articles about Corona, so we won't blow your timeline up with that yet. But
so shifting gears, just because I don't want this to go too long, because I know y'all got stuff to get to, but. We did want to talk about another form of event that we do that is I think so important to family ministry, and that is in the form of parent equipping. We've been offering those once a quarter. I think we're learning through here that maybe we can even offer them in more regularly in a different way. We'll see if we can continue doing stuff like this as long as people keep watching. I'm down.
Keep making up, for sure.
But our parent equippings, we've spent the last couple of years trying to feel out what lane those should be in, and I think what we've really realized is that our parent equippings really need to just be simple discussion times between us and other parents who have experiences or thoughts or ideas to share on like when we do studying the Bible as a family, or we talk about Neighbors in the Nations as a family, or Tell It to Two. Or even in every February when we talk about sex and that type of thing, and how to talk to your kids about sex, it's really just a time for us to get together and have conversations. And so we're trying to figure out how to market that to help you as parents understand that it's not just like, oh, I don't know about the subject, I need to go. But if you feel like, I've been through that, I have teenagers. I've talked to my kids and talked to them about the birds and the bees and all the way up through their first time dating and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm good there. We really want to create, and the reason we're calling it Round Tables is to create this idea that we want the most experienced, most godly parents and the hottest mess of a parents imaginable to gather around together and talk and share their struggles and their ideas. For me as a parent, one of the most helpful things has not been great ideas necessarily from other parents, but just to understand that they struggle too.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be in it together, and to know that I'm not alone and I'm not the only one struggling through things. And so one of the things we want to keep offering as a family ministry team is chances for parents to get together and have those roundtable discussions. Anything you want to add into that?
No, I think that's a great summary of it. And yeah, I mean, so we've been doing those once a quarter, and we'll keep it up. We've been doing it. Sunday afternoons have seemed to be the time that matches everybody's schedule the best. And you can't ever hit everyone's schedule the best. Yeah. So we'll definitely keep doing that in person. Yeah. What we'll see in the fall of how schedules happen is, could maybe Greg and I do some more discussions like this and cover more topics that you can come back and watch live or later.
Or even just primers for the upcoming time we're meeting together. Just
a little promos.
Pump out some videos.
Which I think opens up a good door. And maybe this is a good place to land the plane.
Yeah.
Of just, we have a set of topics with parenting roundtables. You know, our heart is that we get your kids a few times a week, but you're with them every day. And so you're the primary disciplers of your kids, which is, you know, all the way from Deuteronomy 6, biblical idea. In that, we want to be equipping you to do that well. And so we have different events. To honor Aaron's vision for the church, we're talking about 20% to our neighbors in the nations and tell it to 2 regularly. We're also talking about things like how to talk to your kids about sex, how to manage money, how to study the Bible as a family. But if there are topics that you think about, that you think, hey, if you could do a Family Ministry Live, if you could do a parenting roundtable, if you could talk about this, maybe not so much as, you know, give us a sermon, but just kind of help talk to us, point us to tools in this area. We would love to know. We're just 2 guys, and we don't represent everyone, and so we'd love to know. So you shoot us, Ethan@HayesHills.com, my email, Greg@HayesHills.com for his email. Shoot us ideas. Hey, we'd love for you to cover this topic. We'd love for you to talk about this. We've got a few more weeks at least of Corona quarantine in addition to moving forward in the fall. But really just trying to see how we can love and serve everyone well.
Yeah, and I think the most important kind of wrap-up point for events is that Ethan and I, and hopefully our teams will feel this and agree with this, we never want to get so stuck on the tradition of an event that we lose focus on the mission that we have as a ministry and as a church. And so I think if you're with us for the next several years, you'll see things consistently change, and we want to keep things fresh and keep things focused on the vision God's laying on our hearts, not just Ethan's heart and Greg's heart, but our heart as a church. You know, one of the things I've said since I got here, and I know Ethan's heart is that I don't want student ministry to become an island by itself that's funded by Hayes Hills Baptist Church. I want it to be a ministry that's an active part of Hayes Hills Baptist Church. And so we're praying that God continues to give us a clear path on how to do that well and how to love you well. Would love your feedback on any of that anytime. Would love to chat just because I miss people.
Yeah,
so
for real.
Give us a call. You
really starting to miss everyone for sure. And quick plug, probably should have done this at the beginning, but oh well. Hopefully you've watched until the end. If you have any needs, encouraging phone call, a need for financial assistance, or if you know someone who has a need, HayesHillsHelps.com is where we're funneling everyone's requests for help, and we would love to, as a church, minister well in any way we can. And a quick shout out too for one thing I'm doing every week. I am sending out a video update of children's ministry, which updates is a regular part of what we do. Right now, because things are kind of on hold, there's not too many like regular updates each week because it's still like, hey, we're still in quarantine. But I'm taking some of this time to talk about how to talk to your kids about the Bible. You got a lot of time on your hands, and a lot of time is used well in family discussions about the Bible. I'm using the Bible Project. They have a lot of videos on their website that are amazing. And one specific series
for students as well, like family-wide.
Yeah, this is a family-wide thing. Videos targeted at different ages. But one of the series is about how to study the Bible, like how do you read it. And in my parent updates that I send out every week, I am just doing a quick overview of one of their videos and pointing you to the video for the depth of it. Today, the video that is coming out will be about when you're reading the Bible, you got to understand that the Bible is different genres of literature. So just like you would not read a cookbook and a love letter the same way, you're not going to read every story in the Bible the same way.
Actually,
wouldn't it? And
so,
yet,
I love food, but
and yet, when we come to our Bible, we so often think that you're supposed to understand every piece of it the same way. And I think that's part of the reason why we come to Leviticus in our reading plan and think, oh, this is boring. I love Jesus. But anyways, the Gospel of John, and just kind of skip forward. And how can we read it well, understand it well, know God's truth from it well? So those are there.
Lastly, we finally just got set up this morning a URL that makes it much easier to find our live content, HayesHills.live. hazehills.live. So if I know y'all obviously watching know how to find our content, but on Wednesday nights for youth group live, on Sunday mornings when we go live for service, when Aaron's doing his things on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Mondays when we're doing this,
And David's Bible Life on Sunday.
Oh yeah, sorry, David's Bible Life at 9:30 on Sunday. It would help reach more people if you would just either share our post or post yourself. I know the URLs have been changing, so it's hard to get the word out, but now you can just say, hey, find Hayes Hills live at hazehills.live. And so just trying to get the word out to our community. I'm sure lots of people are hurting and needing hope, and hopefully they'll stumble across our link and hear Pastor Aaron give awesome sermons or laugh at the ridiculousness that we have on Wednesday nights, and worship together. So help spread the hope that way. But we'll let y'all get back to your day. Thank you so much for watching. If you got any questions on family ministry, why we do things, how it runs, shoot them our way. We'd love to chat about it next week. And I guess we'll see you then. God bless everybody.
We will. While Greg goes to turn off the live stream, if you are not a part of the parent updates and you want to be, send an email to ethan@hazehills.com, and I will make sure that you are getting those updates.